Let me ask you something real quick. How many times have you been told that's just part of getting older? And how many times did that answer feel wrong? Because today we're pulling back the curtain on health topics that affect millions of seniors, but rarely get explained honestly. In this short tour, I'm walking you through 5 brand new videos on this channel. Each one tackles a major health issue, the kind that's usually brushed off, oversimplified, or quietly ignored. And I promise you this, by the end you'll see your health choices very differently. Let's start with one topic that's been misunderstood for decades. Video 1 is all about menopause, not the watered-down version, not the just deal with it advice. I'm talking about the truth no one really explains. Why symptoms linger for years, why some treatments fail completely, and why new therapies are finally changing the game for women who were told nothing could help. If you or someone you love has ever felt dismissed, confused, or exhausted by menopause, this one hits home. Next, we move to something far more dangerous because it often goes unnoticed. Video 2 exposes COPD, a silent lung disease affecting over 65 million seniors worldwide. It steals breath slowly, quietly, and by the time many people realize what's happening, the damage is already done. We break down early warning signs most people ignore, what actually makes COPD worse, and how new treatment strategies are helping seniors breathe easier, sometimes for the first time in years. This is one of those videos where people say, "I wish I had seen this sooner." Now let's talk about one of the most talked about health trends right now. Video 3 dives into GLP-1 drugs, the injections everyone's calling a miracle for weight loss. But here's the real question: are they actually safe for seniors? We cut through the hype, the benefits, the risks, the side effects doctors don't always lead with, and who should seriously think twice before hopping on board. No fear-mongering, no blind praise, just real talk so you can make an informed decision. Then comes a video that might make you pause. Video 4 reveals a bone treatment most people have never heard of. A low-cost drug that's shown serious promise in reversing osteoporosis within a year. So why isn't everyone talking about it? Why are so many seniors still told bone loss is inevitable? We unpack the science, the controversy, and what questions you should be asking your doctor right now. And finally, we zoom out, because health isn't just about treatments, it's about information. Video 5 is your global guide to trustworthy health info, especially important for seniors who are constantly targeted by scams, fake cures, and misleading headlines. We show you how to spot red flags, which sources are actually reliable, and how to protect yourself from misinformation, no matter what country you live in. This video alone could save you money, stress, and potentially your health. So here's the deal. These 5 videos aren't meant to scare you, they're meant to empower you. Knowledge is still one of the strongest tools we have, especially as we get older. If any of these topics matter to you, make sure you watch the full series. Hit like if you believe seniors deserve honest health information. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And drop a comment letting me know which video you're starting with first. Your health journey doesn't end with age. In many ways, it's just getting clearer. Let's continue. Imagine waking up at 3 in the morning drenched in sweat for the 5th time this week, feeling like someone cranked up an invisible furnace inside your body. You're not alone if this sounds familiar. Right now, millions of women are silently struggling through menopause, often feeling like their own bodies have turned against them. But here's what the medical establishment doesn't want you to know: there are groundbreaking treatments available in 2026 that can transform your experience completely, and most women have never even heard of them. Today we're diving deep into the real truth about menopause, the symptoms nobody talks about, and the revolutionary non-hormonal solutions that are changing everything. Stay with me because what you learn in the next few minutes could literally change your life. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Menopause isn't actually a disease or something that needs to be cured. It's a natural biological transition that every woman will experience, typically between the ages of 45 and 55. Think of it as your body's way of closing one chapter and opening another. But here's the thing: just because it's natural doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The technical definition of menopause is when you haven't had a menstrual period for 12 consecutive months. But the journey to get there, called perimenopause, can last anywhere from 4 to 10 years. During this time, your ovaries gradually produce less estrogen and progesterone, the hormones that have been orchestrating your monthly cycles since puberty. Now let's talk about what really happens during this transition, because the symptoms go far beyond what most people realize. Everyone knows about hot flashes, but there is a whole constellation of changes happening in your body that can feel overwhelming if you don't understand what is going on. Hot flashes are probably the most famous menopause symptom, and for good reason. About 75% of women experience them during menopause. But what exactly is happening when you get a hot flash? Your hypothalamus, which is like your body's thermostat, becomes hypersensitive to small changes in body temperature. When it thinks you're too warm, it triggers a cooling response that dilates your blood vessels and increases blood flow to your skin. This causes that sudden feeling of intense heat, often accompanied by sweating and sometimes followed by chills. Hot flashes can range from mild warmth to feeling like you're standing next to an open furnace. Some women experience them a few times a week, while others might have them every hour. They can last anywhere from 30 seconds to 10 minutes, and they're often worse at night, which leads us to another major symptom: sleep disruption. Night sweats are essentially hot flashes that happen while you're sleeping, and they can completely destroy your sleep quality. You might wake up with your pajamas soaked, your sheets damp, and feeling like you need a shower. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's exhausting. Poor sleep affects everything from your mood to your immune system to your ability to concentrate during the day. But sleep problems during menopause aren't just about night sweats. Hormonal changes can also affect your natural sleep-wake cycle. Many women find they have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or they wake up too early and can't get back to sleep. This creates a vicious cycle because when you're sleep-deprived, everything else feels harder to manage. Let's talk about mood changes, because this is where things get really misunderstood. Many women report feeling more irritable, anxious, or even depressed during menopause. Some describe it as feeling like they're on an emotional roller coaster. One minute you're fine, the next you're crying over a commercial, and then you're snapping at your partner for leaving dishes in the sink. These aren't character flaws or signs of weakness. They're physiological responses to hormonal fluctuations. Estrogen affects neurotransmitters in your brain, including serotonin, which regulates mood. When estrogen levels drop and fluctuate unpredictably, it can directly impact how you feel emotionally. Memory and concentration issues are another symptom that many women find particularly distressing. You might walk into a room and forget why you went there, struggle to find the right word in conversation, or feel like your brain is wrapped in cotton. This cognitive fog, as it's often called, is real and it's temporary for most women. Now let's address some of the physical changes that can happen. Many women notice their metabolism slowing down during menopause, making it easier to gain weight, especially around the midsection. This isn't just about calories in and calories out. Hormonal changes actually affect how and where your body stores fat. Your skin might become drier and less elastic as collagen production decreases. Some women experience joint aches and stiffness. Hair might become thinner or more brittle. These changes can feel shocking if you're not expecting them, but understanding that they're part of the transition can help you prepare and adapt. Sexual changes are another important aspect that doesn't get discussed enough. Declining estrogen can lead to vaginal dryness, reduced libido, and discomfort during intimacy. These changes can strain relationships if partners don't understand what's happening and don't communicate openly about solutions. Here's something crucial to understand: every woman's menopause experience is unique. Some women sail through with minimal symptoms, while others feel like they're being hit by a truck. There's no right or wrong way to experience menopause, and there's no shame in seeking help if your symptoms are affecting your quality of life. The good news is that we're living in an exciting time for menopause treatment. The landscape has changed dramatically in recent years, with new options emerging that don't rely on traditional hormone replacement therapy. Let's explore these innovative approaches. Non-hormonal medications have become game changers for many women. One class of drugs that's showing remarkable promise is selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SRIs, at lower doses than typically used for depression. These medications can significantly reduce hot flash frequency and intensity while also helping with mood stability. Another exciting development is the use of gabapentin, originally developed for seizures, which has proven effective for hot flashes and can also improve sleep quality. Some women find this particularly helpful because it addresses multiple symptoms simultaneously. A newer option that's generating buzz is fezolinetant, which works by blocking specific receptors in the brain that trigger hot flashes. Clinical trials have shown it can reduce hot flash frequency by up to 60% in some women, which is remarkable for a non-hormonal treatment. Cognitive behavioral therapy has emerged as a powerful tool for managing menopause symptoms, particularly mood changes and sleep issues. This isn't about lying on a couch talking about your childhood, it's about learning practical strategies to reframe negative thought patterns and develop healthy coping mechanisms. Mindfulness and meditation practices are showing real benefits for menopause symptoms. Regular meditation can help regulate stress hormones, improve sleep quality, and reduce the perception of hot flash intensity. Even just 10 minutes a day can make a meaningful difference. Exercise remains one of the most effective treatments for multiple menopause symptoms. Regular physical activity can reduce hot flash frequency, improve mood, strengthen bones, support healthy weight management, and enhance sleep quality. The key is finding activities you actually enjoy so you'll stick with them long term. Strength training deserves special mention because it becomes increasingly important during and after menopause. As estrogen levels decline, women lose bone density more rapidly and muscle mass decreases. Weight-bearing exercises and resistance training can counteract these changes while also boosting metabolism. Dietary approaches are showing promising results too. Some women find that reducing caffeine and spicy foods helps minimize hot flashes. Increasing soy intake through whole food sources like edamame and tofu may provide mild relief due to natural plant compounds that have weak estrogen-like effects. Acupuncture is gaining recognition as an effective complementary treatment. Multiple studies have shown it can reduce hot flash frequency and improve sleep quality with minimal side effects. While we don't fully understand the mechanism, many women report significant improvement with regular treatments. Let's talk about some cutting-edge treatments that are emerging in 2026. Stellate ganglion blocks, originally used for pain management, are showing remarkable results for severe hot flashes. This minimally invasive procedure involves injecting a local anesthetic near nerves in the neck, and some women experience months of relief from a single treatment. Cooling devices and technologies are becoming more sophisticated and discreet. New wearable devices can detect the onset of a hot flash and provide targeted cooling to help you manage symptoms in real time. These aren't just fans, they're sophisticated systems that can learn your patterns and provide personalized cooling strategies. Bioidentical hormone pellet therapy is evolving with more precise dosing and delivery methods. While still a form of hormone replacement, newer approaches allow for more individualized treatment with potentially fewer risks than traditional hormone therapy. The field of nutrigenomics is opening up possibilities for personalized nutrition approaches based on your genetic makeup. Some companies now offer genetic testing to identify how your body might respond to different dietary interventions for menopause symptoms. Virtual reality therapy is being studied as a way to manage hot flashes and anxiety. Early research suggests that immersive VR experiences might help retrain your brain's response to temperature changes and stress triggers. Sleep technology is advancing rapidly with smart mattresses and bedding systems that can automatically adjust temperature throughout the night to minimize sleep disruption from night sweats. Some systems can even predict when you are likely to experience a hot flash based on subtle changes in body temperature. Let's address some important considerations when exploring treatment options. First, it's crucial to work with healthcare providers who understand menopause and stay current with treatment advances. Unfortunately, many doctors receive minimal training about menopause, so you might need to advocate for yourself or seek out specialists. Timing matters when it comes to treatment. Some interventions work best when started early in the menopause transition, while others are effective regardless of when you begin. Don't assume it's too late to seek help if you've been struggling with symptoms for years. Safety profiles vary significantly between different treatment approaches. Non-hormonal medications generally have fewer serious risks than hormone therapy, but they can still have side effects. It's important to discuss your complete medical history and current medications with your healthcare provider. Cost and insurance coverage can be barriers to some treatments. While basic consultations and many medications are typically covered, newer treatments or complementary approaches might require out-of-pocket expenses. However, many women find the investment worthwhile given the improvement in quality of life. The importance of a comprehensive approach cannot be overstated. The most successful menopause management usually involves combining multiple strategies rather than relying on a single treatment. For example, you might use an non-hormonal medication for hot flashes while also incorporating exercise, stress management, and dietary changes. Let's talk about building your support system, because navigating menopause shouldn't be a solo journey. Many women feel isolated during this transition, especially if their friends and family don't understand what they're experiencing. Online communities and support groups can provide valuable connection and practical advice from women who truly get it. Communication with your partner is crucial if you're in a relationship. Many partners want to help but don't know how. Being open about your symptoms and needs can strengthen your relationship rather than strain it. This might mean asking for help with household tasks when you're exhausted, or discussing how physical changes are affecting intimacy. Your workplace might also need some consideration. Hot flashes during important meetings, brain fog affecting concentration, or sleep deprivation impacting performance can create professional challenges. Some women find it helpful to have a conversation with trusted colleagues or supervisors about accommodations that might help. Prevention and preparation strategies can make a significant difference in your menopause experience. Keeping a symptom diary can help you identify triggers and patterns. Many women discover that stress, certain foods, alcohol, or specific situations tend to trigger hot flashes. Once you know your triggers, you can develop strategies to avoid or manage them. Creating a hot flash emergency kit can help you feel more prepared and confident. This might include a small fan, cooling wipes, an extra shirt, or whatever helps you feel more comfortable when symptoms strike unexpectedly. The psychological aspect of menopause preparation is equally important. Reframing this transition as a natural life stage rather than a medical problem can significantly impact your experience. Some cultures celebrate menopause as a time of wisdom and freedom, and adopting this perspective can be empowering. Looking ahead, research in menopause treatment is advancing rapidly. Scientists are working on developing more targeted medications with fewer side effects, better understanding the role of genetics in menopause experiences, and exploring innovative delivery methods for treatments. Personalized medicine approaches are becoming more sophisticated, with the potential to predict which treatments will work best for individual women based on their genetic profiles, symptom patterns, and health histories. The integration of technology and healthcare is opening up new possibilities for remote monitoring, telemedicine, consultations, and AI-powered symptom tracking that could revolutionize how we manage menopause. Here's what I want you to take away from everything we've discussed today. Menopause is not something you just have to endure. You have options, you have choices, and you deserve to feel your best during this transition and beyond. The first step is education. Understanding what's happening in your body removes the fear and uncertainty that can make symptoms feel worse. Knowledge is power, and you now have the foundation to make informed decisions about your care. The second step is advocacy. Don't settle for a healthcare provider who dismisses your concerns or offers outdated advice. Seek out providers who specialize in menopause or women's health, and don't be afraid to ask questions or request referrals to specialists. The third step is experimentation. What works for your sister or your best friend might not work for you, and that's perfectly normal. Be patient with yourself as you explore different treatment options and combinations. The fourth step is self-compassion. This is a challenging life transition, and it's okay to have bad days. It's okay to need help. It's okay to prioritize your health and well-being during this time. Remember that menopause isn't just an ending, it's also a beginning. Many women report feeling more confident, authentic, and free after navigating this transition. You're not broken, and you're not alone. You're experiencing something that billions of women have gone through before you, and with the right tools and support, you can thrive during and after menopause. The treatments and strategies we've discussed today represent just the beginning of what's possible. As research continues and our understanding deepens, even more effective options will become available. But you don't have to wait for future breakthroughs to start feeling better now. Take action today. Whether that means scheduling an appointment with your healthcare provider, starting a symptom diary, trying a new stress management technique, or simply having an honest conversation with someone you trust about what you're experiencing. Your menopause journey is unique to you, but you have more control over your experience than you might realize, with the right information, support, and treatment approach, you can navigate this transition with confidence and emerge stronger on the other side. The future of menopause care is bright, and you deserve to benefit from all the advances and options available. Don't let anyone tell you that suffering through menopause is just part of being a woman. You have the power to write your own menopause story, and it can be one of empowerment, growth, and renewed vitality. If this video has been helpful, please share it with other women who might benefit from this information. Together we can break the silence around menopause and ensure that every woman has access to the support and treatment options she deserves. Your journey through menopause can be challenging, but it doesn't have to be something you simply endure. With the right tools, support, and mindset, it can be a time of transformation and new beginnings.
Hi, my name is Martha. I need to tell you something that's been completely mind-blowing for me lately. If you've been struggling with brain fog, anxiety, or just feeling mentally scattered, you absolutely need to hear about my experience with this audio program I discovered. I'm talking about something that literally changed how my brain functions, and I'm not exaggerating. A few months ago, I was in a terrible place mentally. My mind was constantly racing. I couldn't focus on anything for more than 5 minutes, and my sleep was absolutely horrible. I'd lie in bed for hours with my thoughts spinning out of control. Sound familiar? I was desperately searching for solutions when I stumbled across something called the Brain Song System recommended by Valencia, my fitness coach. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I first heard about an audio program that claims to rewire your brain using sound frequencies, I was incredibly skeptical. I mean, come on, right? How can listening to sounds actually change your mental state? But the science behind it caught my attention. This isn't just random background music or meditation sounds. We're talking about precisely engineered theta and gamma wave frequencies that target something called BDNF, which is basically a growth factor for your brain cells. I decided to take the plunge and ordered the original program directly from their official website. I wasn't taking any chances with knockoff versions floating around online. The moment I put on my headphones for the first session, something incredible happened. Within just a few minutes, I could literally feel the tension melting away from my shoulders. My racing thoughts began to slow down, and this wave of calmness washed over me that I hadn't experienced in years. But here's where it gets really interesting. After listening for just 3 nights, I started noticing changes that went way beyond relaxation. My sleep became deeper and more restorative. I was waking up feeling refreshed instead of groggy and anxious. During the day, my concentration improved dramatically. Tasks that used to feel overwhelming suddenly became manageable. The really wild part happened after about 2 weeks of consistent listening. I started experiencing this mental clarity that I hadn't felt since I was a teenager. It's like someone had cleaned the fog off my brain's windshield. Reading became enjoyable again. Work projects that used to stress me out felt almost effortless. Even my emotional responses became more balanced and controlled. What's happening here is fascinating from a neuroscience perspective. These specific sound frequencies are designed to synchronize your brainwaves and stimulate the production of BDNF, which promotes new neural connections. Essentially, you're giving your brain a workout while you relax. The theta waves promote deep relaxation and creativity, while the gamma waves enhance focus and cognitive processing. I'm here to tell you from direct personal experience that it's absolutely legitimate. The changes I've experienced are real and measurable. My productivity has increased, my stress levels have plummeted, and I actually look forward to bedtime now because I know I'll get quality sleep. The program comes with some incredible bonus materials too. There's a comprehensive brain reset manual that explains the science behind everything, a theta wave therapy guide that helps you maximize your results, and a deep sleep transformation plan that's honestly worth the price of admission alone. These aren't just throwaway bonuses either. They're genuinely valuable resources that enhance the entire experience. One thing I want to emphasize is the importance of getting the authentic version from the official source. There are fake copies circulating online that don't contain the proper frequencies, and they're obviously not going to give you the same results. The real program comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it completely risk-free. I've now been using this system for several months, and the improvements just keep coming. My memory has gotten sharper, my creativity has increased, and I feel more mentally resilient overall. Friends and family have noticed the change. In me, I'm calmer, more focused, and just generally happier. Here's what really convinced me this was something special. After about a month of use, I decided to skip a few days just to see what would happen. Within 2 days, I could feel my old patterns creeping back, the racing thoughts, the difficulty concentrating, the restless sleep. It was like someone had turned down the brightness on my mental screen. As soon as I resumed listening, everything snapped back into focus. The technology behind this is based on decades of neuroscience research into brainwave entrainment. When you expose your brain to specific frequencies, it naturally begins to synchronize with those patterns. It's the same principle used in high-end neurofeedback clinics. But now you can access it from the comfort of your own home. If you're tired of feeling mentally foggy, anxious, or scattered, I genuinely believe this could be the solution you've been searching for. The investment is minimal compared to therapy or medication, and the results speak for themselves. Right now, they're offering a special discount that makes it even more accessible. Don't let another day go by feeling less than your best mentally. Click the link in my description to get the Authentic Brain Song program while this special pricing is still available. Your future self will thank you for taking action today. Trust me, once you experience what it feels like to have a truly optimized brain, you'll wonder how you ever functioned without it.
Right now, as you're watching this video, over 400 million people worldwide are struggling to take their next breath. This isn't asthma, it's not a panic attack. It's a disease that's quietly becoming the third leading cause of death globally. And if you're over 65, your risk just skyrocketed. The scariest part? Most people don't even know they have it until it's almost too late. But here's what the medical community doesn't want you to miss. There are 5 simple prevention strategies that could literally save your life, and we're going to reveal all of them in the next few minutes. If someone in your family has ever struggled to catch their breath after climbing a single flight of stairs, or if they've developed that persistent morning cough that just won't go away, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to share. Because what I'm describing isn't just normal aging, it could be the early warning signs of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, better known as COPD. Now, before you click away thinking this doesn't apply to you, consider this startling fact. COPD affects 1 in every 16 adults worldwide, and the numbers are climbing rapidly in our aging population. But here's the thing that really caught my attention when I started researching this topic. While COPD is often called a smoker's disease, nearly 25% of people diagnosed with COPD have never touched a cigarette in their lives. So what exactly is COPD, and why should you care? Think of your lungs like a complex network of tiny balloons and tubes. When you breathe in, air travels through your airways to these microscopic air sacs called alveoli, where oxygen enters your bloodstream. In a healthy lung, this process happens effortlessly. But with COPD, chronic inflammation damages both the airways and these delicate air sacs, making it progressively harder to move air in and out of your lungs. The term COPD actually encompasses 2 main conditions that often occur together. The first is emphysema, which destroys the walls between those tiny air sacs I mentioned, creating larger, less efficient spaces that struggle to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. The second is chronic bronchitis, where the airways become inflamed and produce excessive mucus, creating that persistent cough and making breathing even more difficult. What makes COPD particularly insidious is how it develops. Unlike a heart attack or stroke that strikes suddenly, COPD creeps up slowly over years or even decades. Many people dismiss their early symptoms as just getting older or being out of shape. They might think that shortness of breath after walking upstairs is normal at their age, or that their morning cough is just a lingering cold that won't go away. But here's where the story gets really concerning. By the time most people receive a COPD diagnosis, they've already lost a significant portion of their lung function, often 50% or more. This is why COPD has earned its reputation as a silent killer, particularly among seniors who may attribute their breathing difficulties to the natural aging process. The global impact of COPD is staggering. Current estimates suggest that over 400 million people worldwide are living with this condition, and that number is expected to rise dramatically as our global population ages. In fact, Projections indicate that, by 2030, COPD could become the third leading cause of death worldwide, surpassing stroke and many forms of cancer. What's driving this epidemic? While smoking remains the primary risk factor, accounting for roughly 85 to 90% of COPD cases, we're seeing increasing numbers of never smokers developing the disease. Long-term exposure to air pollution, occupational dust and chemicals, frequent respiratory infections during childhood, and even genetic factors can all contribute to COPD development. For seniors specifically, the risk factors compound over time. Decades of exposure to environmental pollutants, workplace hazards, or secondhand smoke can accumulate to cause significant lung damage. Additionally, age-related changes in the immune system make older adults more susceptible to respiratory infections that can accelerate COPD progression. Now, let's talk about recognition, because early detection can make an enormous difference in outcomes. The early warning signs of COPD often masquerade as normal aging, but there are specific red flags that should never be ignored. The most common early symptom is shortness of breath during routine activities. If climbing a flight of stairs leaves you winded when it never did before, or if you find yourself avoiding physical activities because they make you breathe hard, this could be an early sign. A chronic cough that produces mucus, especially in the morning, is another major warning sign that many people dismiss as a smoker's cough or seasonal allergies. Frequent respiratory infections, such as colds or bronchitis that seem to linger longer than usual, can also indicate developing COPD. Wheezing or a whistling sound when breathing, fatigue that seems disproportionate to your activity level, and even swelling in your ankles or feet due to strain on your heart can all be related to COPD. As the disease progresses, symptoms become more severe and debilitating. Advanced COPD can cause severe shortness of breath even at rest, making simple activities like dressing or preparing meals exhausting. Some people develop a characteristic bluish tint to their lips or fingernails, indicating insufficient oxygen in their blood. The psychological impact cannot be overlooked either. Many seniors with COPD experience anxiety, depression, and social isolation as their breathing difficulties limit their ability to participate in activities they once enjoyed. This creates a vicious cycle where inactivity leads to further deconditioning and worsening symptoms. But here's the encouraging news. While COPD cannot be cured, it can be effectively managed, and more importantly, it can often be prevented. Let's dive into the prevention strategies that could literally save your life or the life of someone you care about. The most obvious but crucial prevention step is avoiding tobacco smoke in all its forms. This includes not just cigarettes, but also cigars, pipes, and increasingly popular vaping products. If you currently smoke, quitting is the single most important thing you can do for your lung health, regardless of your age. Studies show that even people who quit smoking in their 60s or 70s can significantly slow the progression of lung damage. But smoking cessation is just the beginning. Indoor air quality plays a massive role in lung health, particularly for seniors who may spend more time indoors. Ensuring proper ventilation in your home, using air purifiers if necessary, and avoiding harsh chemical cleaners can all help protect your lungs. If you use a wood-burning fireplace or stove, make sure it's properly maintained and ventilated to prevent indoor air pollution. Occupational exposure prevention is another critical factor. If you work or have worked in industries involving dust, chemicals, or fumes, using proper protective equipment and following safety protocols is essential. Even in retirement, hobbies like woodworking, painting, or pottery can expose you to harmful particles if proper precautions aren't taken. Regular exercise deserves special attention in COPD prevention. Physical activity strengthens the muscles involved in breathing and improves overall cardiovascular health. For seniors, even moderate activities like walking, swimming, or gentle yoga can provide significant benefits. The key is consistency rather than intensity. Vaccination represents another powerful prevention tool that's often overlooked. Annual flu vaccines and pneumonia vaccines can prevent respiratory infections that might trigger COPD development or accelerate its progression. For seniors, these preventive measures are particularly important due to age-related changes in immune function. Now, let's address treatment options. Because if you or someone you know already has COPD, there's still plenty of reason for hope. Modern COPD treatment focuses on slowing disease progression, managing symptoms, and maintaining quality of life. Bronchodilator medications form the cornerstone of COPD treatment. These medications work by relaxing the muscles around the airways, making it easier to breathe. Short-acting bronchodilators provide quick relief during symptom flares, while long-acting versions help maintain better breathing throughout the day. Many patients use a combination of both types. For more severe cases, anti-inflammatory medications called corticosteroids may be prescribed. These can be taken as oral medications during flare-ups or as inhaled medications for long-term control. The goal is to reduce airway inflammation and prevent symptom escalation. Oxygen therapy becomes necessary for some patients with advanced COPD. Portable oxygen concentrators have revolutionized this treatment, allowing people to maintain active lifestyles while receiving supplemental oxygen. Modern devices are much smaller and more convenient than older oxygen tanks, making them less intrusive in daily life. Pulmonary rehabilitation programs represent one of the most effective non-pharmaceutical treatments for COPD. These comprehensive programs combine supervised exercise training, education about lung health, and psychological support. Studies consistently show that patients who participate in pulmonary rehabilitation experience improved exercise tolerance, reduced symptoms, and better quality of life. For seniors specifically, these programs often address additional concerns like fall prevention, medication management, and coordination with other healthcare providers. The social aspect of group rehabilitation programs also helps combat the isolation that many COPD patients experience. Surgical interventions may be considered for select patients with severe COPD. Lung volume reduction surgery removes damaged portions of the lung, allowing healthier tissue to function more effectively. In extreme cases, lung transplantation might be an option, though this is typically reserved for younger patients due to the complexity and risks involved. Lifestyle modifications play an equally important role in COPD management. Maintaining a healthy diet supports overall health and provides energy for the increased work of breathing. Some COPD patients benefit from eating smaller, more frequent meals to avoid feeling overly full, which can interfere with breathing. Staying hydrated helps keep mucus thin and easier to clear from the airways. However, some patients with advanced COPD need to monitor fluid intake carefully if they also have heart problems related to their lung disease. Sleep quality often suffers in COPD patients, creating another area for intervention. Sleep positioning, using extra pillows to elevate the head and chest, can make breathing easier at night. Some patients benefit from continuous positive airway pressure machines if they also have sleep apnea, which commonly coexists with COPD. The importance of social support cannot be overstated. Family members and caregivers play crucial roles in COPD management, from helping with medication administration to providing emotional support during difficult periods. Many communities offer COPD support groups where patients can share experiences and coping strategies. Technology is also revolutionizing COPD care. Smartphone apps can help patients track symptoms, monitor medication use, and communicate with healthcare providers. Telemedicine has become particularly valuable for seniors with COPD who may have difficulty traveling to frequent medical appointments. Early intervention makes an enormous difference in COPD outcomes. Patients diagnosed and treated in the early stages of the disease can often maintain good quality of life for many years. The key is recognizing symptoms early and seeking medical evaluation promptly. Regular spirometry testing, which measures lung function, can detect COPD before symptoms become severe. This simple breathing test can identify airway obstruction and track disease progression over time. For seniors with risk factors like smoking history or occupational exposures, annual spirometry testing might be recommended. The economic impact of COPD extends beyond individual patients to families and healthcare systems. Early detection and proper management can significantly reduce hospitalizations, emergency room visits, and the need for intensive medical interventions. This makes prevention and early treatment not just health imperatives but economic necessities. Looking toward the future, research continues to develop new treatments and prevention strategies. Scientists are investigating stem cell therapies, gene therapies, and novel anti-inflammatory medications that might slow or even reverse lung damage. While these treatments are still experimental, they offer hope for future generations. But the most powerful tools we have right now are knowledge and prevention. Understanding COPD risk factors, recognizing early symptoms, and taking proactive steps to protect lung health can prevent countless cases of this debilitating disease. For seniors watching this video, whether you're concerned about your own risk or that of a loved one, the message is clear: it's never too late to take action. Quitting smoking, improving indoor air quality, staying physically active, getting vaccinated, and seeking medical attention for persistent respiratory symptoms can all make a profound difference. If you suspect you might have early signs of COPD, don't wait. Schedule an appointment with your healthcare provider and ask about spirometry testing. Early diagnosis opens up treatment options that can significantly slow disease progression and maintain quality of life. Remember, COPD may be a chronic disease, but it doesn't have to define your life. With proper management, many people with COPD continue to live full, active lives well into their golden years. The key is taking action now, before symptoms become severe. Your lungs have served you faithfully throughout your life. Now it's time to return the favor by giving them the protection and care they deserve. Because every breath matters, and every prevention step you take today could add years of comfortable breathing to your future. Hey folks, real talk for a second. If you're over 65 and trying to lose weight, it can feel downright unfair. You eat less, move more, and the scale barely budges. Meanwhile, everyone's talking about these GLP-1 shots like Ozempic and Wegovy, saying they melt fat without misery. Sounds incredible, right? But here's the question nobody wants to ask out loud. Are these drugs actually safe for seniors, or could they quietly rob you of muscle, energy, and independence? Today, we're breaking it all down. The good, the bad, and the stuff most people leave out. If you're thinking about these meds, stick with me. Alright, welcome back everyone. I'm really glad you're here for this one because weight loss after 65 is not just about looks. It's about mobility, confidence, energy, and honestly, staying independent for as long as possible. And if this topic feels personal, that's because it is. Maybe you've noticed the weight creeping on over the years. Maybe your doctor mentioned your blood sugar or your knees are starting to protest every staircase. Or maybe you're just curious because every other commercial seems to mention Ozempic. Either way, my goal today is simple. No hype, no fear-mongering. Just clear, practical information so you can decide what's right for you. Let's start by getting everyone on the same page. What are GLP-1 drugs, really? So what exactly are GLP-1 drugs? GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. Fancy name, simple idea. It's a hormone your gut already makes. Its job is to help control blood sugar, slow digestion, and tell your brain, hey, we're full. GLP-1 medications copy that signal. Originally, these drugs were created for type 2 diabetes. Doctors noticed something interesting pretty fast. People weren't just getting better blood sugar control. They were losing weight. Sometimes a lot of weight. That's how we ended up with names you've probably heard everywhere. Ozempic and Wegovy, both semaglutide. One is labeled for diabetes, the other for weight loss. Saxenda, which is liraglutide and taken daily. And a newer kid on the block, Zepbound, also called tirzepatide, which targets 2 hormones instead of 1. Most of these are weekly injections. Tiny needle, usually in the belly or thigh. Takes about 10 seconds. What do? They slow how fast food leaves your stomach. They reduce appetite. They quiet food noise, that constant thinking about snacks and seconds. On paper, it sounds almost too good to be true. And for some people it is. But aging changes the equation. That's why we need to talk specifically about seniors. Why weight loss is different after 65. Here's the hard truth. Weight loss after 65 is not the same game you played at 45. Your metabolism slows down. Hormones shift. Muscle mass naturally declines every year. This muscle loss has a name, sarcopenia, and it's a big deal. Muscle is what keeps you strong, balanced, and steady on your feet. Lose too much of it, and suddenly everyday things get harder. Standing up, carrying groceries, recovering from illness. At the same time, obesity affects about 40% of older adults. Extra weight raises the risk of diabetes, heart disease, joint pain, and sleep apnea. So seniors are stuck in a tough spot. Lose weight too aggressively, and you risk frailty. Don't lose weight, and chronic conditions get worse. This is where GLP-1 drugs come in. And to be fair, there are real advantages. Let's talk about the pros first. Pro number 1. Real meaningful weight loss. This is the headline benefit. Clinical studies show GLP-1 drugs can help people lose anywhere from 8% to 20% of their body weight when combined with diet and movement. Think about that for a second. If you weigh 200 pounds, that's 16 to 40 pounds gone. That kind of loss can be life-changing. Even a 5% reduction can lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol, reduce blood sugar, ease pressure on joints, and improve sleep apnea. For many seniors, that means less pain, better sleep, and more stamina during the day. That alone is a huge win. Pro number 2. Major benefits for diabetes and heart health. If you're over 65, there's a good chance you're dealing with diabetes or prediabetes. GLP-1 drugs shine here. They lower blood sugar effectively without causing the dangerous lows seen with some older diabetes medications. Even better, large studies show they reduce the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and cardiovascular death. That matters. Heart disease is still the #1 cause of death in older adults. One geriatrician, Dr. Chitraganta, put it simply, these medications have helped many patients become healthier and significantly improve quality of life. That's not just about living longer, it's about living better. Pro number 3. Possible brain and inflammation benefits. This is where things get really interesting. Early research suggests GLP-1 drugs may reduce inflammation throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is linked to cognitive decline, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. A review published in JAMA noted that these drugs may improve insulin signaling in the brain and promote neurogenesis, which is the creation of new nerve cells. Now, to be clear, these are not dementia treatments, but anything that potentially protects brain health gets attention, especially as we age. Some studies have also linked GLP-1 use to lower rates of addiction behaviors, including alcohol use and even reductions in depression and suicidal thoughts. That's still emerging research, but it's promising. Pro number 4. Appetite control without feeling miserable. One underrated benefit is how these drugs change your relationship with food. People often say, I just feel satisfied sooner. I don't think about snacks all day. I can stop at one slice. That's powerful. For seniors who struggle with portion control or emotional eating, this can feel freeing instead of restrictive. When paired with simple lifestyle changes like walking more or prioritizing protein, some people maintain 10% or more weight loss long term. So yes, there's a lot to like here. But now we need to slow down and talk about the risks, because this is where things get complicated for seniors. Con number 1. Gastrointestinal side effects hit seniors harder. The most common side effects are digestive, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. About half of users experience some form of this, especially early on. For younger people, it's often manageable. For seniors, it can be rough. Older adults are more likely to already have sensitive digestion, dehydration risk, or multiple medications that complicate things. In clinical trials, older participants reported more severe GI symptoms and were more likely to stop the medication altogether. There's also the cosmetic issue people call Ozempic face. Rapid weight loss can cause sagging skin and a more gaunt appearance, which can make people look older than they feel. Not dangerous, but something to consider. Con number 2. Muscle loss and frailty risk. This is the big one. When you lose weight, you don't just lose fat, you lose muscle too. In younger adults, that's less of a concern. In seniors, it can be dangerous. Muscle loss increases the risk of falls, fractures, hospitalizations, and loss of independence. Dr. John Batsis, a geriatric obesity expert, warns that GLP-1 drugs may worsen sarcopenia in older adults who already have low muscle mass. One study found that older men who lost more than 10% of their body weight had a higher risk of death. In a large veteran study, older adults were more likely to stop these drugs because they felt weak and fatigued. One 78-year-old patient said he stopped because he felt too frail to recover from infections. That's not a small concern. Con number 3. Weight regain after stopping. Here's something many ads don't mention. When you stop taking GLP-1 drugs, appetite usually comes roaring back. Most people regain some or all of the weight they lost. That means these medications often become long-term or even lifelong commitments. For seniors, that raises practical questions. Can you afford it long-term? Do you want to be on injections indefinitely? What happens if your health status changes? Which brings us to cost. Con number 4. Cost and insurance barriers. Without insurance coverage, these drugs are expensive. Wegovy can run around $499 per month. Zepbound around $349 per month with discounts. Medicare currently does not cover GLP-1 drugs for weight loss, though policy changes are being discussed. Some people use coupons or discount programs and save significantly, but it's still a serious financial consideration, especially on a fixed income. Con number 5. Other medical risks. There are also rare but serious risks. Pancreatitis, kidney problems, delayed stomach emptying that becomes severe. Because GLP-1 drugs slow digestion, they can affect how other medications are absorbed. Some studies have hinted at a possible increased risk of certain cancers, including kidney cancer, but data is still limited. The FDA has also warned about compounded versions of these drugs. Cheaper knockoffs may not be safe or effective. The big problem: lack of senior-specific data. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Older adults are underrepresented in clinical trials. In some studies, fewer than 3% of participants were over 75. That means doctors are often making educated guesses. As Dr. Batsis put it, we don't have enough data to fully support what we're doing clinically in seniors. That doesn't mean these drugs are bad. It means caution is essential. How seniors can use GLP-1 South more safely. If you're considering a GLP-1 drug, here's what experts recommend. First, talk to your doctor. Not a telehealth mill. Someone who knows your full medical history. Most people qualify with a BMI over 30 or over 27 with conditions like diabetes or hypertension. Second, focus on function, not just the scale. Strength, balance, and energy matter more than pounds lost. Third, start low and go slow. Seniors often need lower doses and longer adjustment periods. Fourth, protect your muscle. Resistance training, even light weights or resistance bands, is critical. Aim for adequate protein at every meal. Fifth, monitor side effects closely. Weakness, dizziness, or persistent nausea are not things to push through. And if insurance denies coverage, appeal. Some doctors will advocate for you. Resources like the Obesity Bill of Rights can help. So are GLP-1 drugs a miracle or a mistake? For seniors, the honest answer is this: they can be incredibly helpful for the right person, used the right way, with the right support. They offer real weight loss, better blood sugar control, and potential heart and brain benefits. But they also come with real risks: muscle loss, side effects, cost, and unanswered questions. This is not about chasing a number on the scale. It's about preserving strength, independence, and quality of life. Now I want to hear from you. Have you tried a GLP-1 drug? Are you considering one or totally against it? Drop your experience or questions in the comments. This is a conversation worth having. If this video helped you, give it a like, subscribe for more Straight Talk health content, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Take care of yourself, stay strong, and remember, you're not alone in this. Imagine if I told you there's a treatment that can literally rebuild your bones from the inside out, making them stronger than they've been in decades, but most doctors aren't telling their patients about it. What if this breakthrough could take someone with severe osteoporosis and give them the bone density of a healthy 30-year-old in just 1 year? Well, that reality exists today, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is and why it's being called the most significant advancement in bone health in over 50 years. Hi everyone! I'm here to share something that could change the lives of millions of people suffering from osteoporosis worldwide. If you or someone you love has been told that bone loss is just part of aging, or that the best you can hope for is to slow down the deterioration, prepare to have your mind completely blown. What I'm about to reveal challenges everything we thought we knew about treating this devastating condition. Before we dive into this groundbreaking treatment, let me ask you something. How many people do you know who've suffered fractures from seemingly minor falls? Maybe it was your grandmother who broke her hip getting out of bed, or your neighbor who fractured her spine just from sneezing. These aren't just unfortunate accidents. They're the devastating reality of osteoporosis, a silent disease that affects over 200 million people globally and causes more than 9 million fractures every year. For decades, the medical establishment has approached osteoporosis with a defeatist attitude. Traditional treatments focused on slowing bone loss rather than actually rebuilding what was already gone. Patients were given calcium supplements, told to do weight-bearing exercises, and prescribed medications that could only hope to maintain their current bone density. The message was clear: once you lose bone, it's gone forever. But here's where things get interesting, and frankly, a little controversial. While millions of patients were being told to accept their fate, researchers around the world were quietly developing something revolutionary. They were working on treatments that don't just slow bone loss, they actually reverse it, rebuilding bone tissue at a rate that was previously thought impossible. The breakthrough I'm talking about involves a class of medications called anabolic agents, specifically a drug that's now available in multiple countries, but remains surprisingly underutilized. This isn't some experimental treatment confined to research labs. It's FDA approved, clinically proven, and has been changing lives for several years now. Yet, many patients have never even heard of it because the medical community has been slow to embrace this paradigm shift. Let me paint you a picture of what this treatment can actually do. In clinical trials, patients who received this therapy saw their spine bone density increase by up to 13% in just 18 months. To put that in perspective, most traditional osteoporosis medications are considered successful if they prevent a 2 to 3% annual bone loss. We're talking about not just stopping the decline, but actually building new, healthy bone tissue at unprecedented rates. The science behind this is fascinating and represents a complete reversal of how we approach bone health. Instead of focusing on the cells that break down bone, this treatment targets the cells that build bone up. It essentially tricks your body into thinking you're much younger than you are, ramping up bone formation to levels typically seen in healthy young adults. Now, you might be wondering why this revolutionary treatment isn't being prescribed to every osteoporosis patient on the planet. The answer involves a complex web of medical conservatism, cost considerations, and frankly, some physicians who haven't kept up with the latest research. Many doctors are still operating under the old paradigm, believing that significant bone regeneration is impossible once osteoporosis has set in. But the evidence is undeniable. Multiple large-scale studies have demonstrated that this treatment can reduce vertebral fractures by up to 65% and non-vertebral fractures by 53%. These aren't marginal improvements. They're life-changing reductions in the risk of the devastating breaks that rob people of their independence and quality of life. What makes this treatment even more remarkable is how it works at the cellular level. Your bones are constantly being broken down and rebuilt in a process called remodeling. In healthy individuals, this process is balanced. In people with osteoporosis, the breakdown outpaces the rebuilding, leading to progressively weaker bones. This new treatment essentially supercharges the rebuilding process while maintaining the natural balance your body needs. The medication works by mimicking a naturally occurring hormone that regulates bone formation. When administered properly, it signals bone-building cells called osteoblasts to dramatically increase their activity. At the same time, it helps regulate the cells responsible for bone breakdown, creating an optimal environment for new bone growth. Patients who've undergone this treatment report improvements that go far beyond what shows up on bone density scans. They talk about feeling more confident in their movements, no longer living in constant fear of fractures. Some describe it as getting their lives back after years of limiting their activities due to bone fragility. The treatment protocol typically involves daily injections for up to 2 years, followed by transition to other medications to maintain the gains. While the injection aspect might sound daunting, most patients find it manageable, especially considering the dramatic benefits. The needles are very small, similar to those used by diabetics, and many patients quickly adapt to the routine. Cost has been a significant barrier to widespread adoption, with the treatment often running into thousands of dollars per month. However, insurance coverage has been improving as more data emerges showing the long-term cost savings from preventing fractures. When you consider that a single hip fracture can cost the healthcare system upwards of $40,000, not including the immeasurable personal costs, the economics begin to make sense. Side effects, while generally manageable, do exist and need to be carefully monitored. Some patients experience mild reactions at the injection site, occasional nausea or dizziness. More serious but rare side effects have been reported, which is why proper medical supervision is absolutely essential. This isn't a treatment you can pursue without thorough medical evaluation and ongoing monitoring. The eligibility criteria for this treatment are specific and important. It's typically reserved for patients with severe osteoporosis who are at high risk for fractures, particularly those who haven't responded well to other treatments. Doctors also consider factors like age, overall health status, and the presence of other medical conditions that might affect treatment safety or effectiveness. What's particularly exciting is that research is ongoing into even more advanced versions of this treatment. Scientists are working on formulations that could be administered less frequently, potentially monthly or even quarterly injections. There are also investigations into combining this therapy with other cutting-edge approaches, like target gene therapies that could further enhance bone regeneration. The global availability of this treatment varies significantly. While it's approved in the United States, Europe, Japan, and several other developed nations, access in developing countries remains limited. This disparity highlights one of the ongoing challenges in healthcare, ensuring that breakthrough treatments reach all patients who could benefit from them, regardless of geography or economic status. Patient advocacy groups have been instrumental in raising awareness about this treatment option. Many organizations are working to educate both patients and healthcare providers about the availability and benefits of anabolic therapy for osteoporosis. These efforts have been crucial in overcoming the inertia that often surrounds the adoption of new medical treatments. The psychological impact of this treatment cannot be overstated. For many patients, an osteoporosis diagnosis feels like a death sentence for their active lifestyle. They're told to avoid activities they love, to move more carefully, to essentially live in a bubble of fear. This new treatment offers hope that such limitations don't have to be permanent. Success stories from patients around the world are remarkable. There's the 72-year-old grandmother who went from having multiple vertebral fractures to hiking mountains with her grandchildren. The retired teacher who returned to her beloved gardening after years of being too afraid to bend over. These aren't isolated cases, they represent a new reality for osteoporosis treatment. However, it's crucial to understand that this treatment isn't magic. It requires commitment, proper medical supervision, and often lifestyle changes to maximize its benefits. Patients still need to maintain adequate calcium and vitamin D intake, engage in appropriate exercise, and avoid habits that negatively impact bone health. The monitoring process during treatment is comprehensive and important. Regular bone density scans track progress, while blood tests monitor for any adverse effects. Some patients see improvements in bone markers within just a few months, providing early evidence that the treatment is working effectively. Looking toward the future, researchers are exploring how this treatment might be combined with other emerging therapies. There's exciting work being done on stem cell treatments, advanced biomaterials, and even 3D printing techniques that could further revolutionize bone health treatment. The current breakthrough may just be the beginning of a new era in osteoporosis care. For patients considering this treatment, the decision-making process should involve thorough discussions with qualified healthcare providers. It's important to weigh the potential benefits against the risks and costs, considering individual health status and treatment goals. Not everyone will be a candidate, but for those who are, the potential for transformation is remarkable. The ripple effects of this treatment extend beyond individual patients. Healthcare systems are beginning to recognize the potential for significant cost savings through fracture prevention. Families are seeing their loved ones regain independence and confidence. The broader impact on quality of life and healthcare economics is substantial. As we look at the current landscape of osteoporosis treatment, it's clear that we're in the midst of a revolution. The old approach of merely slowing bone loss is giving way to treatments that can actually rebuild what was thought to be permanently lost. This shift represents hope for millions of people worldwide who have been told that progressive bone deterioration was inevitable. The key message here is that if you or someone you love is dealing with osteoporosis, it's worth having a conversation with a healthcare provider about the latest treatment options. Don't accept outdated information or pessimistic prognoses without exploring what's actually available today. The landscape has changed dramatically, and patients deserve to know about all their options. This breakthrough treatment represents more than just a new medication. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about bone health and aging. It challenges the notion that bone loss is an inevitable part of getting older and offers hope for maintaining strength and independence well into our later years. If this information has been valuable to you, I encourage you to share it with others who might benefit. Too many people are suffering unnecessarily because they don't know about the options available to them. By spreading awareness, we can help ensure that more patients have access to treatments that could dramatically improve their quality of life. The future of osteoporosis treatment is brighter than ever, and this current breakthrough is likely just the beginning. As research continues and new treatments emerge, the prospect of eliminating the devastating effects of this disease becomes increasingly realistic. For the millions of people currently affected by osteoporosis, the future can't come soon enough. Hey everyone around the world. Picture this. You're browsing online and spot a miracle remedy for joint pain that promises to get you moving like your younger days, but is it legit or just a clever scam targeting us seniors? In our connected globe, health advice floods in from everywhere: social media, ads, even well-meaning friends abroad. How do you sort the truth from the tricks? Stay tuned because I'm sharing straightforward, global tips to help you trust the right info and safeguard your well-being, no matter where you call home. Let's get started. What if I told you that upgrading your brain doesn't require years of training, complicated routines, or staring at another screen? And what if it only took 12 minutes? Stay with me because this might be the simplest brain upgrade you've ever heard of. Have you ever walked into a room and completely blanked on why you're there? Forgot a name right after hearing it? Or felt like your brain just isn't as sharp or quick as it used to be? If you're in your 20, 30, or even over 40, that feeling hits almost everyone at some point. And no, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means your brain is overloaded. We're constantly switching tasks, scrolling non-stop, stressing about everything, and expecting our minds to keep up like nothing's changed. That pressure slowly drains your focus, memory, and mental speed. Here's the part most people don't realize. Your brain runs on a powerful growth chemical called BDNF, short for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of it as fuel for your neurons. When BDNF levels are high, your brain forms stronger connections, learns faster, and stays mentally sharp. When BDNF drops, brain fog creeps in. Focus disappears, memory feels unreliable, and everything takes more effort than it should. Stress lowers it, poor sleep lowers it, aging lowers it, even sitting too much lowers it. But the exciting part is this. Your brain can increase BDNF naturally at any age, if it's stimulated the right way, and this is exactly where the brain song comes in. The brain song is a 12-minute audio experience designed to stimulate your brain using carefully engineered sound patterns. No affirmations, no hype, no effort on your part. You simply put on your headphones, press play, and let the sounds do the work. These sound frequencies are designed to engage multiple areas of the brain at once, helping activate neuroplasticity and support healthy BDNF production. In simple terms, it nudges your brain into a state where it learns faster, focuses better, and processes information more efficiently. What makes the brain song different is how easy it is. You don't have to solve puzzles. You don't have to meditate perfectly. You don't have to believe in anything. You just listen for 12 minutes. People in their 20s use it to sharpen focus and learning. People in their 30s use it to stay mentally sharp under pressure. People over 40 use it to reclaim memory, clarity, and mental speed they thought was gone. And because it's audio-based, it fits into real life. You can listen while relaxing, lying down, or even during a quiet break in your day. Most users report feeling clearer and more focused within the first couple of weeks. With consistent use, memory improves, mental fatigue drops, and thinking feels smoother and faster. This isn't about forcing your brain to work harder. It's about helping it work better. If you felt mentally sluggish, distracted, or not quite like yourself lately, don't ignore it and don't accept it as normal. Your brain is adaptable at every stage of adulthood. If you want to experience what a focused, energized, and sharp mind actually feels like again, check out the brain song using the link in the description. Give it 12 minutes a day and let your brain do what it was designed to do. If this helped, hit like, subscribe for more content like this, and let me know in the comments if you've tried the brain song or plan to. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Start treating it that way. Now let's get back to the video. Hello again, global friends. I'm Valencia, and whether you're tuning in from bustling USA, sunny Australia, urban Singapore, the historic UK, or anywhere else, if you're a senior like me who's navigated life's ups and downs, you've likely pondered, how do I know which health information to trust? It's a universal puzzle, especially as we age and prioritize our wellness. We're managing things like chronic conditions, think diabetes, heart health, or arthritis, while aiming to stay active, eat well, and embrace tech like online doctor visits. But with info coming from all corners of the planet, it's easy to feel swamped or, sadly, deceived. Let me share a real-life tale to illustrate. Not long ago, my online pal Raj from India, he's 68, full of energy, came across an Instagram post for a herbal tonic claiming to boost immunity overnight. Sounded promising, especially post-pandemic, right? He ordered it, shelled out good money, and nothing. Worse, it interacted badly with his meds. It was from an unverified seller with zero backing. Stories like Raj's happen worldwide because we seniors care so much about our health, and opportunists exploit that across borders. So let's chat this through like old friends over tea or coffee, or whatever your local brew is. I'll keep it straightforward, engaging, and loaded with practical advice you can apply today, wherever you are. By the end, you'll be a global health sleuth, cutting through the clutter with confidence. Why does this hit home for seniors everywhere? As we age, our bodies adapt differently, maybe more meds, slower recovery, or focusing on independence. Faulty advice can cause real harm. skipping proven treatments due to a viral hoax, or trying a trendy diet that spikes your blood pressure. But reliable info empowers us. Better energy, stronger immunity, sharper focus, globally. Experts note that misinformation can hike unnecessary doctor visits by 15 to 25 in older adults, per reports from the World Health Organization (WHO). Alarming, isn't it? But we're in this together. Let's equip ourselves. Step 1. Grasp the sources of health info. It's borderless. The web, Google, YouTube, like this channel. Social platforms like Facebook or WeChat, TV commercials, magazines, family chats across time zones, and pros like your local GP or pharmacist. Even apps and gadgets like smartwatches feed you data. Don't dodge them, that stuff in our digital world, but assess them smartly. Now those universal red flags, signs to pause and think twice. First, if it promises miracles, like cure your diabetes in a week. Skepticism mode on. True progress is gradual. Think of those superfood powders or eternal youth serums peddled online, often hype, no proof. Red flag 2. Zero backing or sources. Claims like this spice fights heart disease without studies? Dig deeper. Credible info points to research from trusted bodies. 3. Tugging at heartstrings. Fear tactics like this everyday item is poisoning you. Or pressure like limited stock, act now. Aim to rush you. 4. Hidden agendas. Is it from a product seller? A vlogger earning commissions? Bias check. 5. Stale data. Health evolves fast, check published dates. Pre-2020 info on vaccines. Update it. Shifting to green flags, hallmarks of reliability, applicable worldwide. First, source expertise, authors with credentials. Doctors, nutritionists, researchers. Look for qualifications. Globally respected organizations include the WHO for international standards, the US's National Institutes of Health (NIH), UK's National Health Service (NHS), Canada's Health Canada, Australia's Department of Health, Singapore's Ministry of Health (MO), India's Ayush Ministry for Traditional Meds, but cross-check with Modern Science, or Europe's European Medicines Agency (EMA). Second, backed by evidence, references, trials, or reviews. For seniors, WHO's Aging Resources or NHS's Over 65 guides are tailored and unbiased. Third, broad agreement. If WHO, NIH, and NHS all endorse something like balanced diets reducing chronic risks, it's solid. Lone voices. Question them. Fourth, honesty about limits. Good sources say evidence suggests, or consult your doctor, acknowledging not everything fits all. Fifth, clear and inclusive. Explains in plain language. Considers cultural differences like dietary advice, respecting halal, kosher, or vegetarian norms. Let's apply this globally to senior scenarios. Supplements, ads for vitamin C, immunity, or glucosamine joints vary by region. Consult your doctor first for interactions. Verify with independent testers like US's Consumer Lab, Australia's Therapeutic Goods Administration (TGA), or WHO's pre-qualified lists. Red flag, unregulated imports in the EU, check EMA approvals. In Asia, local ministries like Singapore's Health Sciences Authority (SHA), nutrition, diets like Mediterranean or DASH, trust American Dietetic Association parallel to UK's British Dietetic Association or Australia's Dietitians Australia. Studies show they cut heart risks by 20 to 30 in seniors globally. Avoid uncredentialed influencers. Adapt to local foods, rice based in Asia, grains in Europe, mental health, loneliness or memory worries. Alzheimer's Society UK, US's Alzheimer's Association, or WHO's Mental Health Toolkit offer evidence on activities like social clubs helping cognition. Beware apps claiming dementia cures, no universal fix. Exercise, staying mobile prevents falls. CDC US guidelines mirror WHO's 150 minutes moderate activity weekly like Tai Chi, popular in China, or walking. Adapt for conditions. Ignore extreme fads, tech and apps, trackers 4 steps or heart. FDA cleared in US, CE marked in EU, SHA approved in Singapore. Telehealth, NHS digital in UK, telemedicine via Health Hub in Singapore. Vaccines and meds, flu, COVID, shingles. WHO, CDC, NHS, Health Canada all affirm safety, reducing severe cases in seniors by 40-60. Balance pharma info with independence. pain relief, options like physiotherapy or CBD, NICE UK's National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, or TGA Australia Guide on Risks, especially opioid addiction. Sleep, 7-9 hours. American Academy of Sleep Medicine aligns with global bodies like Sleep Health Foundation Australia. Cancer checks, age appropriate per American Cancer Society, Cancer Research UK, or WHO's IARC Heart Monitoring, American Heart Association, British Heart Foundation, Heart and Stroke Foundation Canada, Diabetes, American Diabetes Association, Diabetes UK, Diabetes Australia, Bones, National Osteoporosis Foundation US, Osteoporosis Canada, International Osteoporosis Foundation, Vision or Hearing, American Academy of Ophthalmology, NIB UK for Sight, or WHO's Sensory Health Programs. Tools for verification, global fact-checkers like FactCheck, or GUS-based but international, AFP FactCheck Multilingual, or WHO's Mythbusters, PubMed for Studies NIH-hosted, Global Access, apps like NewsGuard rate reliability worldwide, social media, vet profiles blue ticks. Cross-check claims with multiple orgs, unsure? Ask locals, your GP, pharmacist or community health worker. In many countries, free hotlines exist like NHS 111 in UK, Health Direct in Australia. Build communities, senior groups, online forums but verify shares. In Singapore, active aging centers. In Canada, seniors centers, habits, politely probe sources, keep a health journal. Challenges, access varies rural areas, language barriers, use translations, family help but share these tips. Emotions, being misled stings, be kind to yourself, learn forward. Looking ahead, AI tools handy, but verify with pros. Wrapping up, trusting health info is a lifelong skill, adaptable worldwide. Spot red flags, chase green ones, leverage global resources, you'll thrive. Your health spans borders. Protect it wisely. Thanks for joining from wherever you are. If this resonated, like, subscribe, share globally. Drop your top health query in comments, I'll address it next. Stay healthy, stay savvy, until next time.